Hello, welcome back to Sabi Market Channel. It's nice to have you here. Shout out to all of our viewers, both new and existing, and shout out to all of our subscribers. We especially appreciate you all. And if you are viewing this and you are yet to subscribe, please kindly hit the subscribe button. And we really appreciate if you help us do that. It encourages us to do make research and upload insightful videos like this to inform business decisions and investment decisions, and also for your own business as well. There are a lot of things that you can apply. Yes, so once again I welcome you. So today we are looking at Lafarge Africa PLC's net profits margin. So the net profit margin is actually saying, what part of the revenue was this company able to keep as their net profits. So that's what it's measuring. So for 2014, let's say they got 100 billion. What percentage of that 100 billion was left over as net profit after all costs have been accounted for? After tax payments, salaries have been accounted for, both fixed and variable costs and everything has been accounted for, what was left as profit? What percentage of the revenue was left as profit? So that's what the net profit margin is covering. So yes, I've made my video before on I think I didn't mention this, but then I have to make it clearer that I've been making several videos on Lafarge Africa. I've done the analysis on their net profits, and this is net profit margin. I've also done a video on their revenue trend analysis. So you might want to look those up. There are a whole lot of things that's covered, and looking at all of these parts of these different metrics about the company would actually give you an overview of what their financial performance is like, and it also reflects their operational efficiency to a large extent, and that can actually inform investment decisions and a whole lot more. So let's just dive in. And as regarding overview, I know if you are all of our existing viewers, my custom is to always do an overview for the particular company that I'm analyzing. But for this one, just to save time, I don't like repeating overview for each video I do. If it's the same company, if it's the same organization, I just like to do an overview for the first video, and then I just build on that foundation. So I just like to refer people back. So if you want to know, have an insight about if you want to have a brief overview of Lafarge Africa PLC, you might just want to look up the video on Lafarge Africa PLC net profits. So that's where I did the overview for this company. All right then. So this analysis is going on for we are actually reviewing the last 10 years, which is from 2014 to 2023. We are reviewing the last what their profit margin has looked like in the last 10 years, and then start from 2014 to 2023. So we saw that in 2014 here, what they had as their net profits margin was 28%. So this means that in 2014, they after all costs has been accounted for, they had 28% of their revenue as profit. 28% of their revenue as profit. So let's say their revenue was 100 million for that year. 10% would be 10 billion, and 28% would definitely be 28 billion. So I think that's not too small of an amount to keep as profits, as net profit. And then but then it's sad that that was the largest profit margin they've had in the last 10 years. It's began to deplete, even though for the next 2 years, it just the discrepancy wasn't so much. They dropped from, in 2014 they moved to 25%. In 2015 25% of their revenue was kept, and then in 2016 24% of their revenue was kept. So if we do kind of an intuitive analysis, we can begin to see that the costs. So I believe that one of the things that affected them is actually cost. The cost of raw materials, the cost of importation began to increase over the year. The naira devaluation is a great contributor to this factor. The tax rate, the increase in tax rates, the increase in interest rates, these are great contributors to this thing. This is one of the reasons why it's most likely to continually deplete and decline, because companies are just spending more. So for instance, they may be having issues, depending on where their plant is located. They may be having issues with power supply. So the cost of diesel, the cost of fuel, the cost of transportation, all of these are accounted for, and it just seems to get worse. It just seems to get more expensive by the day. So you can see the challenge, where the challenge lies, where we can actually validate, this is why these people are dropping. And then it became worse in 2017, whereby it was a decline. So it shows that they were spending more on the product. In 2017, this minus 7% reflects that they spent more in the products than what they actually got back. So the money invested was more than what came in after all costs has been accounted for. So that's a very terrible place for any organization to be. And we see here that in 2018 they were able to come out from that pit because they went below the line in 2017, and that's actually a terrible place to be. But then they were quick enough to come off from that. Yes, but then I also believe that this must have caused a lot of a struggle in this period of time. A whole year, 365 days, and then at the end of the year you see that you're running at loss. A month is bad enough, not to talk of a year. So that was a very terrible place to be. And then where I say fortunately now they went above the line by 2% in 2018. I don't think that's also something encouraging, because 2% of revenue as net profit is, it's worse. It's better than going below the line. Yeah, let's just hold that as a means of consolation, that 2% is still better than minus 7%. But then it also reflects that they weren't so what would I say now? How would I put it? They lost. I believe that they also lost ground, because this is also a reflection of market share, and this could be also related to the fact that they lost their competitive advantage in 2017 and 2018. Their peers must have outplayed them, and this could also be due to ineffective pricing strategy and all of that. So there could be a whole lot of stuff that contribute to this. And yes, when things go down like this, companies are actually re-strategizing, observing what's happening, looking at trends and see what has worked, what has not worked, and then they begin to revisit their strategies and they begin to re-strategize. And fortunately in 2019 they went a bit up by 10%. So from 2% in 2018, in 2019 it went to 12%, and then in 2020 they still went to 14%. Yes, and then in 2021 they went up. That was the highest they could go in about 7 years. That was the highest they could go in 7 years, 20%. And in 2022 there was another decline, and then in 2023 they went up by 1%. So it's this chart, this this chart is reflecting a struggle in their financial performance when it comes to the net profit. We could see here as it reflects the net profit margin is actually reflecting a struggle, and this is what I call a back end. What's happening in the background? What's happening in the back end? Because when we see, if you see my video on if you see the video on net profit analysis, I see the video on revenue trend analysis, you'll be amazed at the amounts that's coming in. But then at the end of the day, what percentage of those amounts are theirs to keep? And it's from this net profit that dividends will still go out and shareholders will still take and all of that. So it's quite a lot. Although if we consider this percentage in terms of cash, it still makes sense. So for instance, you have 100 billion as revenue, and you are having 15% of that as your net profit. So that's still about 15 billion. Well, that can be little, and that can also be much. So it's relative. It's actually relative. Yeah. So that's all about this video. So overall, it's still this is still one of the best net profit margin I've seen. Yes, it's still one of the best net profit, if not for the 2017 that went below the line. It's still one of the out of the companies that have been analyzing their net profit margin. This is still one of the best performing organizations. So yeah, I just believe that in 2024 they have a better performance. They have a better performance, considering, although it may be difficult, considering the fluctuation in the naira devaluation, the increased interest rates, the economic downturn. I do have a little bit of doubt that they would exceed 15%. But then we don't know. Maybe they have a winning strategy to sideline all of those difficulties and come out strong. Maybe they have adopted a winning competitive advantage. They could have penetrated a larger market share. We do not know, but then we hope for the best for them. Yeah. All right, that's all. I trust that you enjoyed this video and you got a lot of insight from it. Please, if you have watched to this extent and you like what you saw, you like what you heard, please hit the like button, and that really helps our videos perform better. And also, I would plead that you subscribe to the channel if you have not done so by now. And that will be all for this video. Until I see you again in my next video. Bye bye.